Creativity is very, very important to social development, cultural development, political development. Of course, when we talk about creativity, it's not just limited to arts and culture, singing and dancing, but more so to alternative way of thinking, critical thinking. I think the most important energy that can be generated from critical thinking will lead to creativity and vice versa. I've been working with creative activities in Asia for quite a few years. My recent activity was related to this little guy who's also behind me. This little guy is 1010, and I call the project 1010向上. Every day we look up. Of course, 1010向上is a motto originally initiated by Mao back in the 50s for grade school kids. I thought it's a very good idea to sort of go back to the 50s and think about all this kind of, in the very, very beginning, the energy that was there, trying to reform and trying to bring about a better society of China. What I did is I developed different sides, and I invite people to just do whatever they want with it. I did that in Hong Kong, I did that in Tokyo, and I'm doing this in many other cities in Asia, and trying to use this to network everyone, to discuss about the idea of creativity is interaction and participation and mutual debate, a more intellectual debate. This is like a blank canvas, so I have everyone doing whatever they want onto it. Whatever they do reflect their concern, and of course also reveal their inner feeling aside from their own identity. The exhibit I did in Shanghai was presented during the Shanghai Expo in 2010. What I did was I brought about 64 artists' work, 64 artists working with me together, and was exhibited at the Shanghai Expo. The whole idea to curate a more creative exhibit is more important than a creative work itself. I think to have a critical thinking is not only about what's around us, but also about the system around us. In this case, I have been commenting on the arts institution, the gallery system, the museum system. And then from that, we go further and further, and we discuss about education system. We discuss about cultural policy and the cultural systems. How can we examine the system and see where can we go from there to make it a better system? The one I did in Japan recently was with children in the disaster area. I went and visited the Long Pine. After 1 year, it's still quite deserted. And the children I work with, they lost half of their friends. And they also lost their parents. Half of them has lost their parents. So we were working together with them trying to see how they can reconstruct how they feel and what they think. And I think that's what advocacy arts is all about. We try to also bring about a collective feeling. Working with the kids, it's so important. And I think education is so important. But we all know that the education system is so problematic. The education system is so rigid. There's no dialectic in our education system. Every single change moves so slowly, if there's any change. So we must generate small pilot projects to re-examine what is learning and what is teaching.